On Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. New details this morning about the suspect who confessed to the murder of a 16-year-old Adna cheerleader. We'll tell you how authorities tracked him down and what an affidavit revealed about his actions before her murder. And former President Trump will appear on Michigan's ballot come 2024 after the state's high court rejected an attempt to remove him. 25 News now has more on why the court says it declined to hear the case. Plus, a drug already approved for asthma and chronic hives could act as a treatment for some food allergies. We'll tell you more about the new study on Xolair. That's coming up on Sunrise.
And we've got some more cool weather coming our way before another cold front comes our way, possibly on New Year's Minute. And we'll take a look at that in the weather coming up.
Well, we already know Texas State got its first ever bowl victory, but did you know they drank the stadium dry? I'll have that in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
And I'm Parker Cox.
And today it's the 28th day of December 2023. The time is now 6:31 on our Thursday morning, and it's National Short Film Day.
It's a pretty fun day.
It's a pretty fun day.
She was just talking to me about this, actually.
That's right. You said you like those Pixar short films.
Yeah. So if you ever went to the older kind of 2000s Disney movies and you sat in the theater, they show like a really short old Disney Pixar film. I like those ones.
The old man playing chess.
Yeah, that's the exact one I was thinking about.
One.
Yeah. I also really like the cloud one. Like a cloud delivering things. I like that one too.
Well, Oscar shorts also sometimes get some screen time at local movie theaters after the Oscars. So
yeah, short films are pretty cool.
I like them.
I love them.
Well, Parker, how's it looking out there for us? I see it's going to be kind of consistently chilly at night.
Yes, overnights are going to be quite cold, just like it is right now. But we will be having some cool days for the next few days. We'll take a look at that in a moment, because if you're waking up with this right now, or just tuning in, like I said, you've got a live look at North Victoria, where even here in the Crossroads, quite chilly out there. 37 degrees starting out your day. 37, but it'll be warm up nicely today. I'm going to take a look at that in a second. But the dew point, though, 34 degrees, just a few degrees off. You got an 89% humidity out there, so it's a little bit humid. Not enough to create any fog, because you get fog at 95% or higher. But that's enough to create some dew on your windshield, and maybe a little bit of water to you have to use your wipers to get it off so you can see out your windows. But that's really the only kind of hazard today. So you can see here all across the board, sticking about right around 90% for the humidity. So a good majority of us are going to see a little bit of water on our cars this morning. But no fog expected, but it's going to be cool out there. That's not the other thing. The other thing is, look at all these temperatures, 37, 36, all across the board. Very chilly morning, except for the immediate coast. Y'all are in the 40s this morning, low 40s that is. But look at the temperature for the rest of the day. Like I said, starting in the 30s, warming up to about 60 degrees today. Maybe the low 60s if we get lucky, warm up just a little bit more. But most likely, upper 50s to low 60s is the range for today. But we're going to be dropping right back to the 30s overnight tonight and tomorrow night as well, because we're going to have some very clear skies that let out all that heated air, keeping us in some cool temperatures. So if you have any plants outside, you might want to bring those plants inside so they don't suffer outside. But let's take a look at what's going on here. We've got this low that just gave us all that cold front just over the last weekend. That's going to slowly just hang around right over there on the East Coast, and then before it pushes off and dissipates along the Atlantic, that's going to make way for this next system. It's going to develop right over the panhandle of Texas, bring us a cold front our way on New Year's Day. And we'll take a look at that more in just a few more moments. Back to Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. New details about the suspect who confessed to killing a 16-year-old Adna cheerleader. Our sources at the Jackson County Herald Tribune says a probable cause affidavit shows 23-year-old Rafael Romero displayed stalking-type behavior before fatally stabbing 16-year-old Lisbeth Medina. The report says Medina's phone remained active in the days after her death. Police used that information and tracked down her phone to Schulenburg. That's where they picked up Romero and Lisbeth's phone and wallet. Romero is at the Jackson County Jail with a $2 million bond. Authorities say he's ineligible for bond due to an immigration hold on his expired visa. A crash on Sam Houston Drive sent one person to the hospital and left power lines down in the area yesterday afternoon. Around 4 o'clock near the James Moody Post Office, one of the vehicles reportedly hit a pole, and that's what caused the power lines to go down. It's unclear what caused the vehicles to crash. A 34-year-old man faces 9 charges this morning after his arrest late last week in El Campo. The charges he faces include abandonment and endangering a child, burglary of a building, and evading arrest. Authorities booked 34-year-old Ryan Reyes in the Wharton County Jail with the bond set at just over $70,000. The Michigan Supreme Court rejected an effort to boot former President Donald Trump from the state's primary ballot in 2024. The court's order blocks efforts to remove Trump from the 2024 ballot under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, which states, "No one who has engaged in insurrection or rebellion after having sworn an oath to support and defend the Constitution can hold office." In a brief order issued Wednesday, the court said it declined to hear a case arguing that Trump should be left off the state's ballot because it's not persuaded that the questions presented should be reviewed by this court. The order comes after Michigan Court of Appeals this month similarly rejected challenges to Trump's spot on the state's primary ballot. For people with multiple food allergies, new research suggests a drug already approved for asthma and chronic hives may protect against severe reactions to peanuts, eggs, milk, and other foods. In an early analysis of data from a clinical trial backed by the National Institute of Allergy, speaking of allergies, of allergy and infectious diseases, 165 children and adolescents who receive injections of the drug Xolair were able to consume higher doses of the foods without triggering an allergic reaction compared to those who treated with placebos. Because the drug has FDA approval for asthma, it can already be prescribed off-label to patients. The Times Square New Year's Eve ball will look a little different this year. With only 3 days to go until the ball drops on Times Square, we're getting a sneak peek at the new design for the 2024 New Year's Eve ball. This year's ball features a bow tie pattern that will sparkle over Times Square. The new design is created in partnership with Fontainebleau Las Vegas, a new luxury resort and casino that opened on the Las Vegas Strip earlier this month. The new bow tie lighting pattern reflects the shape of the streets below at the crossroads of the world. And here are some of the top headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca Wave. The widening of the Matagorda Ship Channel facing a setback after a miscalculation was found in how much material was needed to be dredged from the channel. Plus, the Calhoun County Commissioner's Court approved several amendments to the county's budget in a meeting on December 6. You can read these stories and more at theportlavacawave.com. And the time is now 6:38 on our Thursday morning. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. How much did the Powerball drawing grow after no winner claimed the Christmas jackpot?
Biden officials have been pressing Mexico for months now to step it up on the border. Did they get their wish? I'm Rachel Bade with ABC News in Washington, and I'll tell you more next.
And coming up after the break, we'll take a look at that fishing forecast, that allergy report as well, and later on Sunrise, we'll take a look at your forecast before the new year.
My favorite holiday song is Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell.
1, 2, 3. Feliz Navidad. Ba, 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 ba. Santa baby, come put a sable under the tree for me.
Oh yeah, last Christmas I gave you my heart.
And so I was singing, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Masters in this hall.
Masters in this hall, hear me today. Something, something, something.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Silent Night, honestly. That's a classic. Silent Night.
Always cry.
Holy night. That's too good.
Because my favorite Christmas song is the one where it's like chestnuts roasting by an open fire. But the one with Justin Bieber.
From all of us here at 25 News Now,
Happy holidays.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're waking up this morning, if you're just tuning in, look at a live look at Cuero, where it's still clear out there. And in fact, it's still dark enough you can still see a couple stars. There's one right there. There's also one right above me as well, one up there as well. But with those clear skies, it is also very, very cold out there. 37 degrees starting out your day in the Cuero area. And Napoleon's also up there because that's the closest town to Cuero. That is at Victoria. But with a dew point of 34, though, it's just a few degrees off from the temperature. You got an 88% humidity with those calm winds out there. So it's a little humid, but it's not enough to create fog. You might see a little bit of dew on your windshield or water out there. But Not expecting any fog, but it's going to be nice, somewhat nice today. It's going to be a little bit mild, and we're going to be the low 60s. Make it a good day to go fishing. Going to take a look at your fishing forecast here. We'll get your high tide at about 7:13 p.m. this evening, with your low tide about 9:24 a.m. this morning, with your winds about 10 to 15 knots out of the north, making your bays and seas pretty smooth at only 1 to 2 feet high, with your water temperature of 61 degrees. And with that water temperature is still kind of warm. It's actually still kind of warm technically. It's going to keep us in the 60s and 70s for the rest of this week and next week, and probably the weeks to come after that as well. But with the nicest weather, I say nicest because it's going to be in the low 60s. With the nice-ish weather we're going to have today, got that tree pollen's going to be moderate today. Grass and ragweed pollen is non-existent today, so it might be a kind of viewer choice if you'd like to take a allergen pill or not today. But for the rest of this week and into the weekend, sticking in the 60s, heaving it up to the 70s on Sunday with that warm front, but then dropping right back to the 60s next week after a cold front comes right on the New Year's minute. And we'll take a look at that and more in just a few minutes. Back to you, Anna.
The Dallas Mavs will soon have new ownership, and one coach suffers from success. He got mayo dumped on him. Zach Brown has that in sports.
It is official. The Dallas Mavericks will soon have new owners. Billionaire Mark Cuban has sold his majority stake in the NBA team to Dr. Miriam Adelson and her family. Adelson is the largest shareholder of Las Vegas Sands Casino Empire. Cuban will maintain partial ownership of the Mavericks franchise, or 27% to be exact, and will remain in control of basketball operations. Cuban bought the team for $285 million. His majority stake was valued at $3.5 billion. Well, Texas State Bobcats got their first ever bowl victory under first-year head coach G.J. Kinney, and they say Texas State's a party school, and they showed out. They drew well over 26,000 fans, and they drank their side of the stadium out of beer with 12 minutes left in the second quarter. So what do? They go to the Rice Owl side of things and drank that entire tied up as well, just halfway through the third quarter. And you'd rather celebrate like that than like this. This may be a bowl game you want to lose, but it is tradition. The winning head coach gets doused in Duke's mayo following the Duke's Mayo Bowl win. They may need to start doing this to the loser as opposed to the winner. And we've got some good news coming out of Houston. Quarterback C.J. Stroud was back at practice, not officially cleared to play Sunday, but he is in stage 4 of his concussion protocol. With your 25 Sports Now, I'm Zach Brown.
Thank you, Zach. All right, we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads, today. Plus, you can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. We now turn to the crisis at the U.S.-Mexico border. Leaders in Mexico last night announcing a new strategy aimed at alleviating the situation, a move that comes none too soon as border leaders brace for record high migrant crossings.
Mexican officials unveiling a new task force to address the migrant surge at the U.S.-Mexico border, a move that comes after U.S. officials pressed the nation to do more to stem the crisis. Sources telling ABC News that U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas pushed Mexico to step up immigration enforcement within their country, help reopen ports of entry, and encourage migrants to stay in Mexico. Mexico's Foreign Affairs Minister heeding that request, telling reporters after the meeting that as part of the new task force, Mexico will regularly meet with countries in Central and Latin America. The next meeting will be in January. One senior U.S. administration official telling ABC News that the U.S. is pleased with what Mexico proposed. The news coming as overwhelmed border officials brace for the arrival of this caravan, a group that's estimated to top 6,000 migrants. The month of December is on track to have the highest number of apprehensions ever, according to CBP officials. Some days, they predict, could even reach 10,000. Elsewhere in the U.S., Republican Texas Governor Greg Abbott continues to infuriate Democratic mayors by sending migrants to their own cities, all on the taxpayer dime. New York City Mayor Eric Adams rebuking him.
To stop the games and use of migrants as political pawns. We need the state and federal government's help in resettling and supporting the 68,000 migrants still in our care, as well as those who are on their way and those yet to come.
Mexican leaders also told U.S. officials that they'll crack down on smuggling. Meanwhile, back here in the United States, a sweeping bipartisan border bill remains stuck in Congress. Rachel Bade, ABC News, Washington.
That leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We ask you, should Governor Abbott continue to send migrants to other states? Okay, let's take a look. 78% of you say yes, he should, and 22% of you say no. We want to keep hearing from y'all. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. And there are 3 candidates in the Lavaca County Sheriff GOP primary. The Hallettsville Tribune-Herald reports Micah Harmon is seeking his 3rd term as county sheriff. Anthony Vaquero of Yoakum is now the director of operations for the sheriff's office. And Stephen Greenwell of Hallettsville served as Lavaca County Precinct 1 Justice of the Peace before he resigned. The Lavaca County GOP primary is March 5th. No Democrats filed to run for sheriff, so the GOP primary winner will be Lavaca County's next sheriff. And here's a look at some of the top headlines you'll read in the Crow Record. Longtime DPS trooper Ruben Garcia retires, and the Westhoff ISD held its annual Christmas program. Read these stories and more at DeWittCountyToday.com. The time is now 6:47 on our Thursday morning. Still to come, a former United States Senator dies at the age of 88. Okay, it is time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Emma Lynn. I want to wish my granddaughter a happy 13th birthday. Mama loves you very much and misses you. Enjoy your special day.
Ooh, and happy birthday today to Oscar-winning actor Denzel Washington. He's 69. Happy birthday, Denzel.
And Grammy-winning singer John Legend is 45. Happy birthday.
Ooh, both very awesome people. Happy birthday. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com, click on More, and under Home, you see KAVU to submit your birthday.
And the time is now 6:48 on our Thursday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
Yes, happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. If y'all wake up this morning and just tuning in, it's a little chilly out there, starting out in the 30s. In fact, yesterday we also got to 39. We were also in the 30s yesterday. In fact, during the show, it must have been 30s for literally 5 minutes or so, because I was only 40 the entire day in the time morning. But we also got up to 71 yesterday. It's 3 degrees higher than I thought it'd be. Quite a warm day yesterday. Now, not going to be as warm today. It's going to be quite a little bit chillier because that cool front came through, and you probably didn't even notice it. It was just a little bit of dry, cool air that kind of moved through the area, keeping us a little bit cooler today, starting out in the 30s this morning. Like I said, probably the upper 30s for a good majority of us here this morning. But like I said, to the low 60s probably this afternoon is what we're thinking for today. But then dropping back to the 30s overnight tonight. So if you have any plans, it's time you might want to bring them right back inside overnight tonight and tomorrow night as well, because we'll probably be back in the 30s tomorrow night as well. But let's take a look at what's going on here for the rest of this week, because it's December. It's supposed to be cool, right? Well, that cool weather is here because that low that just gave us a cold front last weekend is going to push off, making way for the next system to come develop right over the Rockies and the Panhandle, bring us another cold front on New Year's Day. And we'll take a look at that more in just a few moments. Back to Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Wednesday night's Powerball drawing estimated to be at more than $700 million after no winner claimed the Christmas jackpot. The jackpot had a cash value of $352.3 million, and the odds of winning were 1 to 292.2 million. The winning numbers for Wednesday's drawing were 4, 11, 38, 51, 68, and the Powerball 5. This jackpot ranks as the 9th largest in the Powerball game. Powerball is played in 45 states, as well as Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Powerball drawings are held throughout the week on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 10:59 p.m. Still to come on Sunrise News to know before you go. A man accused of stabbing several people now in custody. A former United States Senator dies at the age of 88. Herb Kohl's death was announced by Herb Kohl Philanthropies, which said Kohl died from a brief illness, but did not give any more specifics. Kohl wore many hats as a Democratic senator from Wisconsin, as well as the former owner of the NBA's Milwaukee Bucks, which made him the Senate's only professional sports team owner. He purchased the Bucks in 1985 for $18 million to keep them from leaving town and relocating, helping to make him a popular figure in Wisconsin. He also used his money to fund his Senate races, which allowed him to portray himself as, quote, nobody's senator but yours. Cole never accepted a pay raise while serving as senator, keeping his salary the same throughout his entire tenure and returning the rest to the Treasury Department. In West Virginia, a man accused of stabbing several people in Charleston on Wednesday is in custody. Police say 37-year-old Percy Woody is charged in connection with the stabbings. Police say Woody was employed at a local McDonald's and is accused of injuring 2 coworkers and a customer with a sharp object. He then reportedly stabbed a 4th person outside a nearby home before cutting himself prior to be taken into custody. During a news conference, police announced Woody had previous malicious wounding charges. In 2018, Woody was accused of stabbing a man multiple times, and in 2019, he was charged with injuring a man with a box cutter. Woody was sentenced in 2020 up to 3 years in prison with credit for served time. Republican Representative Lauren Boebert announced Wednesday she will switch congressional districts for next year's election. Boebert, who won her 2nd term representing the 3rd congressional district, said she would be running in Colorado's 4th congressional district next year. This comes after fellow Republican Representative Ken Buck announced he would not seek re-election. Last year, Boebert won the election after beating her Democratic opponent by less than 600 votes. The 4th congressional district covers the largely rural eastern side of the state, and it is ranked as solidly Republican by the Cook Political Report with Amy Walter. 6 other Republicans have already entered the primary race. Yoshinobu Yamamoto officially introduced as a member of the Los Angeles Dodgers Wednesday. The consensus best pitcher outside North America donned his number 18 jersey after agreeing to a 12-year, $325 million deal with the ball club. That contract is reportedly the largest and longest to ever be guaranteed to a major league pitcher. Yamamoto was Japan's most dominant pitcher over the last few years, which made him a hot commodity when he announced his plans to transition to the MLB. Yamamoto joins a loaded pitching room after the Dodgers also went out and signed the two-way All-MVP Shohei Ohtani to a $700 million deal, along with right-hander Tyler Glasnow on a $136.5 million deal, 5-year deal, earlier in the offseason. Texas Governor Greg Abbott and AG Ken Paxton promised retribution for votes they didn't like. Read about who they are targeting by reading this article by the Texas Tribune on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a look at our forecast with Parker. Parker, how's it looking?
Well, Carolina, it's a little chilly out there this morning. Starting to get a live look at North Victoria, where, like I said, 36 degrees starting in the morning. Very chilly, but not only here, but also along the board. All of us starting out in the upper 30s this morning. Quite a chilly morning, but it will be warming up nicely into the 60s this afternoon. Going to be nice, a little bit nice, but a little bit cold for some of us. But if you like that, it's going to be sticking around for the rest of this week. And then weekend, here's what we got going on. We got that low. It's going to move out into the Gulf, or actually the East Atlantic, making way for this next system coming our way, bringing a cold front and going to cool us off right on New Year's minute and New Year's Day, bringing us right back to the 60s next week.
All right, thank you, Parker, and thank y'all for joining us. Have a wonderful day. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and join Karina, Don, Mac, and Zach today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.